Hello everyone, my name is Moritz and today I'm sharing my final reflection on how I grew as a person and student during my exchange semester at Stellenbosch University in South Africa. Coming from a business major background in Maastricht, my main goal for the semester was to step out of my usual academic comfort zone and learn how to handle complex real-world situations much more flexibly. Before leaving for exchange, I realized I relied a lot on a very specific Western way of looking at university and teamwork. To challenge myself, I chose two skills from different parts of the module where I scored lower in the self-assessment service and also where I felt like they would help me the most in my development, which were interdisciplinary skills and design thinking. I took the self-assessment surveys at three different points of the semester, at the very beginning, during the semester, and just recently after my completion. Tracking my scores this way gave me a clear, realistic look at how my confidence grew as I actually lived and studied there. For my interdisciplinary skill, I decided to mix my usual business modules with a class on South African history. This turned out to be the most eye-opening decision of my exchange. Uh, South Africa is a country with a very unique and deeply sad history, and it currently has the highest economic inequality of all countries in the world. And for me, that was a massive reality check to see such a huge contrast every day. On one hand, you have a world-class university like Stellenbosch, where I could study, and highly successful modern companies. But on the other hand, a huge portion of the population lives in extreme poverty without equal access to education or any of the privileges that I completely take for granted in Europe. As a guest in this country, learning this history was absolutely essential. It wasn't just about passing a class, it was about truly understanding the local people I was interacting with, as well as their mindsets and their everyday economic realities. This completely challenged my Eurocentric worldview. Back home in Maastricht, business problems are usually taught through clean, logical models, but this history course directly complemented my business studies by showing me that economics, politics, and business don't exist in a vacuum. They are entirely shaped by historical and social systems. This tied into Shimanda and Ngozi Adichie's talk on the danger of a single story. Because I realized that looking at a country's economy purely through a Western business lens gives an incomplete, biased narrative. It also made me finally understand Kate Raworth's idea about designing economies to thrive rather than just grow blindly. In South Africa, it becomes so obvious that a healthy economy can't just be about growing corporate profits or boosting GDP numbers on the screen. If the economy is growing but most people are still trapped in poverty, the system isn't working. It made me realize that business and economic systems need to be designed from the ground up to actually help everyday people survive and thrive, especially when structural inequality is that deep. My second skill was design thinking, which I had the chance to apply during a big group project. Back home in Maastricht, I'm used to a very direct style. I like to quickly set goals, find a solution, and take charge of the group to ensure efficiency. But in Stellenbosch, I quickly realized that this straight-up approach did not work at all. My local peers thought very differently, and honestly, they would not have liked or even really understood my direct way of pushing things forward. So for the first time, I had to back off and actively use the empathize stage. I slowed down and just listened to how they approach university work and communication. It passively pushed me way out of my comfort zone because I had to let go of control. I had to get used to a completely different solution mindset where it is okay to try things out, make mistakes, and even fail in the beginning. By listening to their feedback and understanding our different working styles, our collaboration completely transformed. We combined our strength, and by iterating based on everyone's input, we achieved a much higher quality final output than if I had just forced my own way. Actively engaging with feedback and learning to handle ambiguity were the core drivers of my growth this semester. Bringing together what I learned in history with my business courses and using design thinking to navigate our teamwork really forced me to face how messy the real world actually is. Instead of looking at these subjects separately or expecting perfect, simple textbook answers, combining everything made me realize that real world problems don't have a single clean solution. You have to get used to the confusion of different perspectives clashing. The honest feedback from my group members, when my direct style caused friction, alongside the critiques from a history professor, served as real-time learning data. In a business major, we are usually taught to find the cleanest, most optimized answer right away. But this semester taught me that real global challenges are up and down, full of conflicting viewpoints, and I had to learn to sit with that discomfort to get a meaningful result. Looking back at my self-assessments from the start to the end of the semester, my T1 to T3 scores definitely match how I feel. Both scores moved up by 10 during the semester, and at the end of my semester, my interdisciplinary skills increased by further 6 points, up to 86 out of 100, and my design thinking by 3 up to 83 out of 100. I feel confident to say that my personal values have really shifted. I've moved away from always needing immediate efficiency or thinking my way is the only right approach. I've learned to value active listening, cultural humility, and the freedom to try and fail. My exchange in Stellenbosch has turned these academic skills into practical, everyday mindsets that I will definitely carry with me into my future international career. Thank you for listening.